Well, hello, everyone. It is the 17th of March. And you know what that means? That means it's Friday. Because it's 2023, so that means welcome to Focus on It Friday. Come on in, guys. I told you I would be late. Oh, my goodness. But we are still going to be great. We are late, but we're still going to be great. Come on in. Grab a friend. Bring them in and come on in yourself. Let's get this St. Patrick's Day going. It is wet, windy, and wild around here in Birmingham, but that won't stop us either. Come on in. Let us know that you are here. I want to see your face in the place. And are you wearing green today? Are you wearing green? We don't want anybody to get pinched. Oh my goodness. Nobody is here. Come on in. Come on in. I know you're out there. So many people said to me last week, oh my goodness, we missed you, we looked for you, we couldn't find you. And y'all just made me feel so loved. Oh my goodness. I felt so loved. I felt so very loved. But I just want to make sure I'm at the right place. Because somebody usually would come here. Right now, it's Friday.
But it's also 12:30.
Yes, it's 12:30. I sent him a message that I was coming a little bit late. I had to work this morning. I actually worked this morning.
You know basketball.
My husband said that basketball is on. Basketball doesn't stop us from getting our Focus on It Friday on, though. There we go. We've got Miss Charlotte Stewart. Hello. Welcome. We've got one person here. I knew somebody was coming. Somebody loved me. She is all the way from Fayette County, Alabama. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. All right, I know a few more are gonna come in. That's all right. We can see that it's working. You just
I got this.
yes. Hello. How is everybody? Is it raining where you are? It is a rainy mess here in Birmingham. Y'all, I've heard Birmingham so much on the news. It's been exciting. It's like, oh my goodness, they're talking about my city. With all of the March Madness going on, it's been a lot of fun to have all the people around town. I guess. I really haven't seen that many people. But I imagine it's been a good thing to have people around town. Come on in. We're going to give everybody about 2 more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I am at an unusual time, so maybe some people thought, oh, well, maybe she's not coming. Let's see if we can tag some people. I don't know how this works. I've never done it, but let's see. Nope, it doesn't work. It does not work to tag. We've got Miss Marsha Swift Selden here. Hello. Welcome to Focus on It Friday. So glad that you are here. I love that photo you got there. It looks like it's a dress. I love that. All right. Okay. Well, we've got 3 people here. We will go ahead and get started. I am Dr. Brandy B., your triple board certified pediatrician, adult psychiatrist, and child and adolescent psychiatrist. And through my Facebook live stream, Focus on It Friday, my best-selling book, Shine, Understanding ADHD So Your Child Can Be the Star, and my many speaking engagements, I help worried moms, dads, and educators learn all they can about ADHD so that they can become enlightened, engaged, and excited about helping their children with ADHD become the best in the classroom and in life, and so they can shine. Thank you so much. We've got Miss April Hicks with us. Thank you so much for joining. So guys, today, y'all know I love to have a little bit of fun and correlate our talks to current events. And today, in case you missed it, it is St. Patrick's Day. It's also my good friend and my nurse Dia's 16th anniversary. So happy anniversary to you, Dia. If you all know Dia, just send her a text message over there on the phone and tell her happy anniversary. She'll love to hear from you in a way that's not related to your child's medicines. How about that? All right, we've got Miss Kimberly Shields. Welcome. So today, guys, it's no no different. We're going to talk about the luck of the Irish when dealing with ADHD. Now, y'all know I will relate anything to ADHD. St. Patrick's Day is no less. But we're going to put a spin on it. Because what I want you to understand is that dealing with ADHD doesn't have to be dependent upon luck, right? If you get lucky, then great. But you don't have to depend on luck, because we have some tools that have been tried and true and that will help you deal with your child who has ADHD. So let's jump right in and shine. All right, so we've got to be intentional when dealing with, the acronym is Irish. 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 Hello, Miss Chandra Tarver Clark. Hello. So what we're talking about today is how we do not have to depend on the look of the Irish when dealing with ADHD. We've got Miss Luella Marvier. There they are. They're coming on in. I knew y'all would be here. Come on in. Thank you. We're dealing with how you do not have to be dependent on the luck of the Irish when dealing with ADHD. IRISH. And the first letter is I, for being intentional. Being intentional means that everything that we do in relation to dealing with this particular topic, ADHD, we are going to be focused on getting things done, getting the best results. We're not going to be haphazard. We're not going to say, I'll just see what happens and maybe I'll get lucky. We are going to go in head first with a plan, always allowing for flexibility and for things to change, but to be willing to get the job done and to do it intentionally. People talk a lot about being intentional in their prayer lives, being intentional in their weight loss and health journey. And so we can be no different here. We have to be intentional about what it is that we do when we're talking about treating ADHD. What are some things that we can do to be intentional? We can seek help, right? We can, if our children are taking medication, we can be intentional about making sure that they have the medicine, that they don't run out, that they don't miss appointments, that they follow through. Be intentional in communicating with the teachers. Sometimes the teachers may not know that you're so interested, and so they haven't told you something that they would have really wanted you to know, but they thought you didn't care. Be intentional in letting them know who you are and that you are invested in your child's future. Be intentional in making sure that your kids eat healthy. Be intentional in making sure that your children get a good night's sleep. Be intentional in making sure that mornings go smoothly by making sure that nights end that way. You want to pack those bags. You want to get those lunches together. You want to put everything where it should be so that your child is set up for success the next day. Being intentional means that I am not going to rely on luck. I am not going to just say, let's see what happens. But as you are saying, I am going to do all that I can to make sure that my baby has what he or she needs. Being intentional when it comes to ADHD, it even may mean right now that if your child is taking Adderall, that you are going to put aside the extra 30 minutes, 1, 2, 3 hours to locate and or go and drive to the pharmacy that may have the medicine that they need. We know there is a shortage, and being intentional does not allow you to just sit down until they have one pill left, hoping, praying, and thinking you're going to get lucky and that medicine is going to be at the pharmacy where you've always sent their medicines. Being intentional, folks, means that we got to get up, get out, and get something. We got to do it. We got to make it happen, because if we don't make it happen, it just may not. So that's the I. We've got to be intentional when it comes to treating ADHD. We are watching Miss Patricia Pruitt, my Aunt Brenda Rudolph. Hello, we've got Miss Ronnie, Mr. Ronnie and Beth Rudy. Y'all say hello, hello, hello. Just like I said to my favorite doctor. Oh, I just love y'all so much. Y'all are too kind. We've got Miss Paula Moore. She's watching. Thank you all for watching. So we're talking about not relying on the look of the Irish when treating ADHD. Miss Vicky Boland is watching. Hello, cousin. All right. Now, resourceful. You've got to be resourceful when you're talking about treating ADHD. What do I mean? I mean that the first person that you're probably going to talk to about it is going to be your spouse, your co-parent, whoever it is that is closest to you that you're going to say, I think something's going on. All right, that's going to be your first resource. And then you're going to keep watching it. Your teachers, they are a resource. Hey, what can we do to help Johnny, to help Linda, to help Laquita, to help whoever in the classroom. What are we going to do? What can we do to help them? Your teacher is an amazing resource, because your teacher may say, he may actually say, I'm going to move your child's kid to the front of the class. It's going to be right next to my desk. Don't worry, I'm not singling them out. I've got other kids lined up behind them. But your child needs some special help, and they're going to sit right here next to me. The teachers are a resource. Who else are resources? Your pediatricians are resources. Why is that? Because it takes many, many, many months. And at the rate we're going, many, many, many years to get in with Dr. Rudolph Bolin, Dr. Brandy B, Dr. Bolin, Dr. Rudolph, any of those people, they are way past backed up. And so you need to be resourceful and use the child's pediatrician. Now, once you get in to see someone like me, a child psychiatrist, or whomever you may be seeing, hey, make sure you keep those appointments, because your pediatrician is going to say, I am no longer your resource. You messed that resource up. You better go back and try to figure out how to make it right again. So we don't want that to happen. Who else are resources? Child and adolescent psychiatrists, right? So we are the people that we say, hey, your child has this going on. Would you like to treat it? Would you not? Remember, the way that I practice is, if you don't want medication, that's fine. I don't want you to have anything that you don't want. But if you do, then we want you to be consistent, be intentional about doing it. Now, who else can be resources? Our school counselors can be resources. They are going to know those extra things that involve the emotions that deal with the children who have ADHD. Who else can be a resource? Child and adolescent psychologists. They can be resources. Child psychologists, they are called. They can be resources, because what? Sometimes you may say, well, now, Dr. Rudolph Bolin, Dr. Brandon, I don't know if you got it right. I'm not really sure about that diagnosis. And guess what? We call on our child psychologist to get that testing for us so that we can know if the diagnosis is correct. Who else can be a resource? Our child psychologist in schools, school psychologists, and our school psychometrists. They are the people who do the school-based testing, and they can tell us if our children actually have the diagnosis, or if it's something like a learning disorder or something else that's going on. So we've got to be very resourceful when it comes to being a parent of a child with ADHD. Again, we are trying to teach you that it is absolutely the opposite of luck that you're dealing with in general with parenting. But for sure, when it comes to dealing with children who have ADHD, you need more than luck on your side. You need the luck of the Irish. All right? Now, what else do we need? When we get to the second I, we want to be insightful. What does insight mean? Insight means that we are able to be honest about a situation. That's how I'm going to use the definition right now, at least. When we are insightful, that means that we can look at a situation and be honest about what's going on and actually do the next steps that need to be done. So how can we be insightful? We cannot not get mad with the teachers when the teachers say, you know, mom, you know, dad, you know, grandma, you know, granddad, you know, uncle, you know, cousin, you know, preacher, you know, teacher, and them. Something is going on. We need to figure it out. Now, you already know before that teacher told you that something was going on, but maybe it's going to take you having the insight and not getting angry to accept what the teacher is saying. And then you will need some insight to know what it is that you need to do next and use those resources that we have. Hello, my cousin, D-Aries Kylie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got Miss Danielle Lynn Warren. Thank you so much for watching. All right. So we're talking about how it is that we cannot just simply rely on the luck of the Irish when treating ADHD or just relating to ADHD. So the first I, you've got to be intentional. You've got to have a plan. You've got to stick with it. This is not a situation where you just want to hope and rely on luck. It would not work out for you to be able to actually say, all right, you want to be able to say, I'm sorry about that, guys, we lost connection. insightful. You actually want to be able to say this medicine isn't working, or maybe we need medicine. But that is something that is going to require you to be insightful. So we're talking today about how we are not going to just simply rely on the luck of the Irish to get us through treating ADHD. And guys, you can substitute anything. You can substitute a learning disorder for ADHD. You can substitute intellectual disability for ADHD. You can substitute depression, schizophrenia, whatever it is that's going on, diabetes. Maybe you need to be intentional about treating your diabetes, because in a minute they're gonna take your toes off and your feet, and then they're gonna take your leg to the knee, right? If you're not intentional, if you're not resourceful, if you're not figuring out what the letters ADA represent, and you are diabetic, you probably need to use your resources. If you're not insightful and saying, I just simply cannot do the things that I used to do. So it doesn't just have to be ADHD. We use ADHD because that's my thing. But maybe, perhaps, high blood pressure is your thing. But you keep eating salt by the handful, or just pour it in your hand and eat it. That's not using good judgment. That's not being intentional, and that is not being insightful. Okay. So, I intentional, are resourceful. I is what? Insightful. And then the S is stand fast. Stand fast and constant. Steadfast and constant. Hey, y'all, I can't talk. Steadfast and constant. Steadfast and constant. What does that mean? You know, when you're running a race, and I don't know, I've never run a race, y'all, but I can imagine that at some point you get tired. And so you have to rest, right? If you look at the rest of those cars, those NASCAR cars, and when they come to Talladega, they pull over for a pit stop. And what happens at the pit stop? You get new wheels, you get some gas, you get fueled up to finish the race. Well, the same is the way with ADHD treatment. Sometimes you need to pull over. But do you notice, if I'm correct, the driver does not get out of the car. The driver stays strapped up and ready to go. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I ain't really watched, I'm not a big time, race watcher. But everybody around them is doing all this work. Who are the people around them? The resources. Everybody already had a plan. How? Because they were intentional. Everybody knew their job. Why? Because they were honest about it. And so what does that allow us to do? Be steadfast and constant and finish the race. And that is the way it has to be with ADHD. You can take a pit stop, but don't get out and move in at that pit. It's time to keep it moving. So if you found that Adderall couldn't be found at your child's pharmacy, and so you just said, I'm going to just rest right here. They said they'll have some in tomorrow. And tomorrow comes, they said, in 2 days. And 2 days come. At some point, you got to get fueled up and get ready to enter the race again. Either change the medicine or find someplace that has it, because clearly these people don't. All right? Miss Sadie is here. Hello. Alethea Thurman is here. And Kiva Johnson. Thank you all for watching. And the last thing that you need to do is to be hopeful that they will shine. One of the things that I always like to do is instill hope. So many people who hear of their children having ADHD immediately lose hope. They immediately say, what is this child gonna do? And the answer is whatever they want to. If you help them be insightful, if you give them the resources, if you are intentional, and if you have been steadfast and constant in their lives and in helping them navigate things in their lives. So it is very important that in order to keep that hope alive, that we're doing the things that would ever spark hope in the first place. Otherwise, we're just marking time. All right, so I hope that was helpful for y'all. Not too long, just right, and short and sweet. Talking about how we're treating ADHD, you cannot rely on the luck of the Irish. Instead, like Irish, the acronym Irish, you need to be intentional. You need to be resourceful. You need to be insightful. You need to be steadfast and constant, and then you need to keep the hope that your children will shine. I'm convinced that they are. I just want you to be. I want your child to be. Because then we're going to really get where we're going. Miss Newbie is here. Hello, hello. All right. So that's all I have for you all today. Make sure you got your green on so you don't get pinched. I think that's what happens. Make sure you hug somebody this weekend. As a matter of fact, hug somebody today. It gets pretty lonely in these mommy streets sometimes. So make sure that you tell a mom, particularly a mom, but maybe anybody, that you love her and that she's doing a good job, because that may be the only time she's ever heard that term. And so for you to tell her that means so much. All right, if there is nothing else, I will see you all next week. And thank you all for your warm, such warm. Where were you last week? I couldn't find you. I love it, y'all. I was absolutely worn out. I took a day to break, fell asleep, and woke up in the afternoon, y'all. So I should have just come on then. But I promise I will let you all know when it is that I will need to be out, so you won't be looking for me. But that's it for now, guys. I want you all to have a fantastic day. Have a great weekend. If you're watching basketball, I hope your team is winning or will win. And we will see each other next week, same time, same place, 12 o'clock noon. Focus on it Friday. And as usual, I am Dr. Brandy B, your triple board certified pediatrician, adult psychiatrist, and child and adolescent psychiatrist, author, best-selling author of the book Shine. And I help worried moms, dads, and educators get the education that they need so they can help their students and their patients shine. Hope you all have a good weekend. Hope it clears up a little bit, the rain, and I will see you all next time. Have a good one. Bye.